Hey friends, welcome back to the shop. We have a fun little trip that we're going to take today. I'm going down to meet my brother-in-law at Strawtown, and we're going to go through the flea market there. So why don't you come along? Let's go check it out and see what's there and see what we can pick up. guys, just got back from Strawtown and we picked up some really fun stuff. I want to bring you down here on the bench and let me show you what we got. So here are some of the things we picked up. Also, I got this box there and then just started filling it with the small stuff we picked up. So we'll get to that in just a minute. But I want to get these big things, show you these big things first, and we'll get them out of the way so then we can look a little more closely at this. I think the pick of the day, there's two of them. It's either this little item or that little item right there. I'm not sure which one is going to be the best, but I sure do like this little axe. This little axe is a True Temper cruiser axe, and it looks in really good shape. They've got a couple nails in the eye there that I'd like to remove. I think I'd like to trim it up right here and drop it down in there just a little bit deeper and try to tighten up that wedge. There is no play in it. Oh, I guess there is just a little bit of play. So yeah, definitely clean that up, drive it a little deeper, and reseat that wedge that's up there. Maybe even put a couple of barrel wedges in there. I don't know that I'm going to try to, I'm going to try to get that rust off and clean it up, but I don't want to necessarily polish it, and I don't think I'm going to really sharpen it either. This is going to be for display. If I want to use it, I can always sharpen it, but I have this Master Mechanic one that I picked up, and I'd probably use it. This one here, being a True Temper, I will probably keep it as it is and just clean it up, oil the handle, and we'll be able to display it. So I picked up that, which like I said, is probably one of the two best picks of the day. This one here is, it says Germany on it. I can't see that other word real well. Now if we can clean this off just a little bit. Oh, made in. So it says made in Germany. And this was with this pile of tools that you can see here in the yard. And the guy wanted $15 for all of it. And he wanted to sell it together. Well, I didn't want all those other tools. Really, I don't see any value in what is sitting there. So I offered him $4 just for the axe. And he countered with $5 for the whole pile. And I feel like the axe is worth, the hand axe is worth the $5. It needs a new handle, and we can do that. It'll make a good video. So one of these days we'll get into cleaning this up. So I went ahead and took the whole pile. This one item here, you can see it looks like it's a machete put onto a maul handle. And so I don't know what they were thinking on some of those, and some of the stuff is not very good quality. The one splitter there, I'm not very big fan of them, and it took out the little separators there, and he didn't have those anymore. He said he took them out a long time ago and was just using it as is, which I would prefer to have just a plain old maul. But anyways, basically got that whole pile with this included for the $5. So I was happy with that, and this will be a great cleanup project. I also picked up this coping saw, and what I liked about the coping saw is just this aluminum handle. Just octagonal handle, and I kind of like how it feels. Usually I like wood. I prefer to have wood rather than plastic or metal, but this really is not bad. So I think we'll probably clean this up and get it looking nice. So we'll make that a project one of these days. Then I picked up this Estwing hammer. I think it's about a 20 ounce. I'm not real sure. I don't think it's 24, but it's a framing hammer. It's got that little hook on there so that you can bite into joists and trusses and things like that to if they're twisted, and be able to straighten them out. So it's just a framing hammer, but it's an Estwing. They're bulletproof, and this one here, I think it was 10 bucks. So I thought that's worth it. They're usually a whole lot more than that. It does need cleaned up, and we will do that. Then we got, let me get these things over here stacked up. And Then I picked up, in fact, the first thing I got was this box. And I guess it's an old flare box that truckers used to use. I've got several of those boxes, not with the flares, but with the reflectors. But the guy said this was for flares. It's only got a handle on the one side here. And I guess it would have slid underneath the seat and you could have pulled it out. And I don't know if these are just, looks like somebody kind of fixed it, but the gauge of steel is very thick. It was a lot heavier than I anticipated it being when I picked it up. So I went ahead, purchased that. It was very inexpensive. And then I picked up these other items, and I'll keep this one for last. I got another Yankee screwdriver, just finished the one that hopefully you've seen on the video. Maybe I'll put it in the description here. It is very, very stiff, but it does work, and the ratcheting system here works, but it is very, very stiff. Here is the only bit that came with it, and it's one of the older bits, and you just pull down and that will slide in there and you can use it to drill. So I guess I shouldn't call it a Yankee screwdriver, it's a Yankee drill. I'm not sure if, I think I should be able to find, in fact I'd have to check it out. I might even have some extra bits around here that be able to try it out and see if they'd fit in there. Maybe we'll have the screwdriver. But it needs some TLC, but I think it'll work really well once we get it cleaned up. And so I went ahead and picked that up. Again, all this stuff, most of this and this were the two most expensive things. Everything else was very inexpensive. Then I picked up this little hammer. I just thought it was nice. It's a Stanley, made in the USA, so it doesn't look like it's had a lot of use, and thought it would be. And the other thing that I liked says Bell System on the side, so I thought we'd pick up a handle sometime or make a handle and hang that little hammerhead. Then I got this little oil tin, and I think they say general rule is once you have 3, you're now a collector. So this is my third one. Might have to make myself a little curio cabinet and start setting my little oil tins up there. But anyways, I picked that up. That was, I think, $1. So that was good. This one here was also not so cheap. I think it was $20. But I really like these things, especially this one here. It seems to be a little bit thinner and smaller. It's the same width as the other one I have, but I like these because you can hold small things in them, get them up near the wire wheel or a grinder without getting your fingers so close. And you can use it with gloves if you need to. And this one here just kind of adds some, I don't want to say dexterity to your hands, but just another option so that you can hold things a lot closer to the dangerous tool that you're using. But I picked that up. I kind of like these, and I think when I find good ones for a good price, I'm going to go ahead and keep picking them up because they're just useful. And then finally, this last one here. The guy asked me if I knew what it was, and you can look there on the end, and of course it looks like it's a chuck for bits and stuff, and he said yes it is, but let me see this. And he took it from me and he opened it up, and would you look at that, all those little implements. Most of them are pretty worn, but I thought, you know what, this is worth taking home, cleaning up. Look at that little pry bar. So anyways, I went ahead and grabbed it and thought we would take some time to clean it up. I don't know if I can read it right here. It needs to be cleaned up. Horace E. Britton, Strawtown, Massachusetts. So made here in the US. This nice brass top, beautiful little wooden handle with all the little bits inside of there. That was just a little jewel. So I went ahead and picked that up. And then I got a couple of other things here. Let me show you what we have. And then the day was winding down. I had only $4 left on me. And I picked this up and the guy said, make me an offer. And I said, all I've got's $4. And he kind of gave me a look like I'm ripping him off, which I did get this for a whole lot less. He goes, well, I'll give it to you for that so that you'll come back for some of the other stuff. And that was this gas can. And it looks like an old Eagle gas can. It's been painted and everything, so I don't see any markings on it. It may not be, but it's got both of the caps, this one and this cap up here, which this cap you can take off the spout if you want to. And I don't know if that spout would have come with it originally or not, but the caps are all on there, and I thought, you know what, this is worth picking up, and especially since I got it for only $4. I think the seals, this one here, I took the seal off, and I'm afraid if I were to squeeze, oh, that's not too bad. I thought it was, oh, that's quite pliable. That's good. I thought that was all dried out in a mess, so that will probably seal pretty well. But I looked down in there and there wasn't any rust, so I was glad for that. And I think I got a good deal for it, and we can put some gas in that. I like to keep these around, especially throughout the winter. We like to store up some gas, put some gas treatment in it, some stabilizer, and that way if we ever need to run the generator, we always have some gas. So I think this will put us up to about 30 or 35 gallons that we'll be able to have on hand throughout the winter. Some people argue that's not enough, and I get it. But right now we're still working on trying to get the cans and being able to store it properly. So anyways, this is a neat find. So like I said before, I think the two top picks are this little cruiser axe and this little hand tool, a multi-tool here. So guys, I appreciate you stopping by and visiting me here and coming along on this little trip to Strawtown. It's always great to have you join me. And if you enjoyed this and it was entertaining, give us a thumbs up. If you know somebody else that enjoys this kind of content, please send them the link and invite them to come too. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. So when I put up a video, you'll be notified and be able to come back again. So guys, I hope you have a great day. Here's to each and every one of you. God bless.